Salazar Winspear is with us this week. Good to have you with us. Starting off with the French economy today, it's kind of hogging all the headlines in the French newspapers, isn't it?
François Hollande is on the front of every paper this morning, well, practically every French daily, thanks to an interview he gave last night on French television, on TF1, outlining his plans to save the French economy, pull it out of the recession. And it's pretty strong measures. He's announced a huge series of tax hikes and budget cuts. If we take a look at Les Echos, the business daily, they're leading with the headline, François Hollande's budgetary measures are an unprecedented tax squeeze. Now, the article goes on to say that he wants to turn around unemployment figures, which are pretty bad in France right now. They're hovering around 10%. He wants to turn that around within the year. But for other reforms and other cuts and spending plans, he's asking the French people to be patient and give him around 2 years to achieve everything he wants to do. Le Figaro echo that as well. They're calling it 20 billion euros worth of cuts and hikes. He's showing us the tax bill that we're all going to have to pay. Le Parisien develops that theme of a bill, l'addition, that we're all going to have to pay. And they go into a bit of detail about exactly where he's trimming. 10 billion euros will come off the ministerial budget, so every ministry is going to be losing a bit of money. And 20 billion, actually, will come from households and companies who will be paying more tax, which is quite controversial. But Le Parisien give him a good review in the interview. They say that he was very strong, very convincing, and a bit more rigorous than usual, which should boost his popularity, which he needs right now, because after the summer hiatus, we've got this back-to-school period, which is, for students and politicians alike, and his popularity's dipped below 50% recently, so he needs any kind of good review he can get.
Yeah, it does sound like he sort of tried to go some way to getting his image back up there, as it were. That's the kind of hard facts of it. Some of the newspapers going for the more personal line. Papers having it in, really, for one particular tax exile or potential tax exile. This is a guy called Bernard Arnault. Tell us what this is about.
Yeah, Bernard Arnault is on the front of Libération here. Here's his smiling face with the very snide headline, get lost, rich idiot. Now, that's, of course, a reference to Sarkozy's now infamous gaffe at the agricultural fair, where he said to somebody, get lost, poor idiot. What they're referring to, of course, is that he's the fourth richest man in the world. He's the CEO of LVMH, which is the big luxury company that takes in Louis Vuitton and lots of other high-end marks. He's looking into Belgian citizenship. Yeah. Now, is that because he has just a lot of, ties to Belgium and interest in living there?
Probably not.
Not according to Libération. Libération say he's obviously just trying to avoid the 75% tax bracket that he would be subject to, and as a multi-billionaire, he'd be paying an eye-watering tax bill. He says not at all. He denies this. L'Humanité goes one step further, and they use this phrase saying, France, you either like it or you leave it, which is borrowing a little bit of FN, Front National rhetoric. Jean-Marie Le Pen famously said to immigrants who arrived in France, France, you either like it or you leave it. So they go really far, saying that, he should just show some solidarity, stay here and pay his tax. And on that more serious level, Le Figaro repeat it in an editorial that they have written this morning, saying that this is an alarm bell. It's something of an alarm bell for the French government, because if he's leaving, many other wealthy entrepreneurs will leave too.
OK. Well, we just got time quickly to talk about the Paralympics. France joining in the fun at the weekend.
Yes, back to l'Humanité. They gave a little review of the Paralympics with an interesting angle, actually. They focused on Paralympian athletes who've also been ex-servicemen. They focused on the fact that of 230 British Paralympian athletes, some 20 people had actually served in Iraq or Afghanistan recently and been injured, and it was an excellent way of promoting sport for those who've had really traumatic injuries, suffered serious disability, and that France should be doing more to show off their ex-servicemen and servicewomen in the Paralympics.
Yeah, fantastic event it was. Fantastic, of course, for those who took part as well. Olivia, thanks very much. Olivia Salazar Winspear with the French newspapers here on France 24.